Good morning. Hi, this is Travis from the National Weather Service, and this is your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, May 27th. Expect more showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, although not as strong as yesterday, and then more on the way in the upcoming week, but at least for tomorrow, Sunday, not looking near as strong even as today. I'll go through all that here shortly. Do expect some, like I said, that heavier rainfall, moderate heavy rainfall, mainly in the southeast Highlands today. I'll pinpoint the areas, but those rain chances decrease. They'll both be mostly diurnal with heating driven, although there will be an extra little bit of a enhancement along the southern Highlands for Sunday. But showers and thunderstorms continue all next week, although they don't look as strong, at least initially in the week, but become a little bit stronger potentially as we get later into the week. And we do have a warming trend, which is going to give an added boost to the rivers, particularly those that have a lot of snow remaining in the upper levels. The upper level lows, more or less over northeast Oregon. That's going to just kind of gradually fill, and there'll be this trough here will kind of move over us today, and that's what's going to give us the extra instability and moisture to help drive thunderstorms. But it will mainly be in the mountains across the central mountains, and then as well as the eastern highlands and southeast highlands. So you'll see that here in the products here shortly. No real changes here. The orange areas, well, those areas that have the higher rivers, Bear River specifically in the southeast highlands. Of course, they're going to get quite a bit of showers, thunderstorms, potential flash flooding today. So that's why they have the orange or moderate. And then eastern highlands, just a minor flooding there and potential, particularly for the Teton and the Henry's Fork, just very minor. I'll show you those rivers in a second. And then the Lost River is in flood or right at flood, and then same with the Wood River. So that's why it's moderate. For high temperatures today, more or less like yesterday. Whether or not we quite hit that 70 will depend on the cloud cover. It looks a little bit more widespread cloud cover today than yesterday, so maybe a little bit less than what you see here. Rainfall amounts certainly less than yesterday. Generally less than 1/10 of an inch across the Snake Plain and valleys, with 1/4 of an inch up in the mountain areas, which is particularly Central Mountains and the Montana Divide. But as you get into the southeast highlands, a good 1/4 of an inch, if not up to 1/2 an inch in some areas in the mountaintops. The EFI from the European model is targeting that southeast highlands, that little small area there, and then you can see the whole excessive rain outlook all across the mountains. Again, this is going to be a more favored area in the southeast highlands. Looking at thunderstorms everywhere potentially. Here's your lightning safety on Saturday soccer games. Just be aware of that, particularly the afternoon ones. We all looked at flash flooding again, particularly in the southeast highlands, although it could happen anywhere with the stronger thunderstorms. All these thunderstorms are going to be slow moving today, a very weak steering flow, about 15 knots, so they won't be moving fast just like yesterday. But again, the main area of concern probably would be the southeast highlands, although the thunderstorms don't look to be near as strong. The indices are weaker than yesterday, so they may not last as long. Just as a reminder for the weekend, the waters are really cold due to the snow melt, and just keep a close eye on children around these swift and cold waters. Thunderstorm potentials for today, again in that southeast highlands is your best chance, right across that area where it was highlighted by the EFI. But you can get showers and thunderstorms, you can see pretty much anywhere across the area, but these will be the best in the southeast highlands. Our Cape and Shear. Cape is 500, which is much less than the last couple days, 1,500 to 2,000. Again, if we clear out a little bit early, or if we clear out, the models are kind of showing we see cloudy, but if we clear out, these levels will go up. Shear amounts are pretty weak. There was an hour or two prior to this about a 20 down along the Utah border, but generally around 15, fairly weak. You compare those to 20, 25 yesterday, and the previous days, 35s and 40s. Again, they're targeting this. This is a 0.5 inch chance from the HREF, more or less a 30 to 50% chance in that southeast highlands is your best chance, and a little bit of chances up along in the Central Mountains and the Big Lost Range. And then here's your temperatures for Sunday, a little bit warmer, less precip chance, less clouds, particularly in the Snake Plains, so it will be a tad warmer. And then you see your precip amounts, not really looking at much in the Snake Plain. It's really just convectively driven. Up in the Central Mountains, you can see very light overall. There's a little bit better chance, there's a little bit of wave aloft, particularly along the border here, and that will help drive a little bit better thunderstorm chances, but again, it's a very weak wave. But overall, these will just be driven with heating in the afternoon. Not looking for anything extreme at all from the EFI index across our area on Sunday, and right now the excessive rain out, nothing for Sunday either. That'll be the first time in 4 or 5 days. And then here's your thunderstorm chances again right there in our southwest corner, although along the eastern highlands, the Wyoming border, better chance as well. Indices are pretty low. I mean, again, the Cape is near 500, mainly our southern areas, and then the Shear is a little bit more, around 20, but again, it's fairly low. Here's your chances. Again, your best chances of a ½ inch is in that southwest corner, although there's a couple intermittent spots in the mountains that could occur. Again, we're going to have thunderstorms in the mountains, and they're going to be slow, mostly slow moving, so it could put down quite a bit, very localized. And then temperatures on Monday, even warmer, a good jump of 5 degrees with those lower precip chances and less clouds. And then you see even Tuesday, even higher in the 80s, and that continues into Wednesday. And Thursday, it does drop back as we start to pick up some rain chances later in the week. But at least initially, that warmer temperatures are really going to help getting the high mountain snow to melt again. And then you combine some precip later in the week with that. And I'll show you what potential. So here's the precip chances through the next 7 days. A lot of that's going to come middle of next week into the next. But again, there's chances every day. And then here's where our current flood watches and warnings and advisories are. And I'll go over these areas. These are the flood warnings and then flood watch up in the Hailey Ketchum area, then the Big Lost, and then the Antelope Creek, and then here's Henry's Fork, and then the Portneuf at Topaz, and Portneuf at Pocatello, and then here's your Blackfoot River advisory, and then for the county of for Bear Lake County, and then the Bear River is for the flood warning. You can look in our HEFS page off our website, and you can see all the current forecasts and gauges and what levels they're at. The squares and the circles are actually forecast points, and then the others, triangles, are just more observations only. So here's the first one, Big Lost at Howell. You can see it's oscillating between flood. It actually has a higher mountain snow, and so with the cooler temperatures, it's been a little bit lower, running lower. But as we warm up, you can see it really responds to that, and particularly by next weekend, has a pretty good response to the warmer temperatures as well as the precip. You see a little bit of lower response here because of the cooler temperatures and lack of precip. But as the temperatures warm up and get a little bit more precip, it goes back into flood pretty easily in the forecast. This little jump here there was a really good thunderstorm. There's a flash flood actually warning over the area, so it had quite a bit of response. This is going to oscillate near flood stage probably, barring any rain the next couple of days, just with the cooler temperatures. But as we warm up, expect quite a bit of snow still floated smiley. I think mid-30s, 35, 36 amount of inches left. So it will get going again above flood stage as we warm up. It's a high mountain response. And here's the Blackfoot River. That stayed pretty even. I expect it to drop off though pretty quickly as we lose precip, as we don't get a precip over this area. It has a chance today, but after that, lesser chances. We will warm up next week, but again, most of the snow in this basin is mid-level, so there's not a lot of snow left to support it. So it should drop out of action stage. And this will drop the flood advisory probably by, next 3 or 4 days. And here's the Bear River. It's going to stay in flood stage, minor flood stage, pretty elevated for quite a while. There's a lot of snow left, and I expect this to stay through the first week of June at least, if not longer. And then the Raft River, it's just responding mainly because of the precip recently and the warmer temperature response earlier in the week. But as we get warmer temperatures, it'll stay slightly elevated, but without the precip, it'll probably drop to near action stage, if not below it. And a lot of the irrigators are taking the water anyway, so not even seeing the river down by the interstate, so a lot of water is taken already. Here's by Topaz, just a gradual drop off, particularly as we get out of rain. Might see a slight response as we warm up because there's still some snow up there. And then the Portneuf Pocatello might just tap a moderate major stage today if we get a lot of rain, but in general, after today, you'll see a pretty steep decline, and by the middle of next week should be back into minor stage, and probably will stay there for the first week, if not 2 weeks in June, due to the amount of snow still left. And here's the Tyee, just what you saw more or less at the other two Portneuf gauges, and then here's the North Fork Bigwood. It's dropped below action stage. Again, this is the high mountain one. It needs warm temperatures. It's been a little bit cooler with all the cloud cover. I expect that to go back up the near flood stage, minor flood stage, later in the week, by the weekend. And then here's your East Fork. All these little side tributaries will all see responses as we warm back up next week, because there's still snow in the higher levels, and then any rain would help as well. Trail Creek, and then here's Warm Springs. Again, it probably will decline slightly depending on how much precip hits today, and then go back up later in the week by next weekend. And then that is shown really well in the overall forecast. The big word of it, Hailey. This will probably be the peak next weekend. How high will, again, greatly depend on how much precip we have. And then there's the nice news here is the peak chances having the highest peak ever in history is now down to 11%. Again, for that scenario to happen, we need a lot of rain in conjunction with the warmer temperatures next week. Could happen, but it's not that likely, so that's why you're seeing those, as time goes on, that chances of an extreme peak going down, which is good news, but it's still a possibility. Just a reminder that we have as you saw in the brief, we have showers and thunderstorms all week, locally moderate to heavy rainfall. There'll be less today than yesterday, and vice versa on Sunday, even less than what we were going to get today. And then you'll see increased chances it pick back up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of the week. And then as the warming trend, we'll see responses into the rivers, not only for the rain on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, but also the warmer temperatures early this week. Have any questions, give us a call at this number. Thanks.